Have you ever said you want peace but secretly meant you want life to stop testing you? Have you ever tried a mantra for calm and then felt frustrated because the calm disappeared the moment real life returned? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are stepping into a theme that sounds gentle but is actually one of the bravest things a human can pursue: deep inner peace. A lot of people search for 8 powerful mantras like they are collecting keys, hoping one key will unlock a permanent calm. But the deeper truth is this: the mantra is not only a sound, the mantra is a training. The first idea is that deep peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of awareness strong enough to meet problems without turning them into poison. The second idea is that any mantra becomes powerful only when it changes karma through daily choices, when it grows compassion in the middle of conflict, when it strengthens practice on ordinary days, and when it slowly rewrites the destiny that used to feel like a loop. Let me start with a story, because peace is not a concept. It is a lived experience that usually begins after you admit you are tired. There was someone who said, "I do not want to be dramatic anymore. I just want my mind to stop fighting everything." They were not asking for luxury. They were asking for rest from inner war. They had tried many things: music, sleep hacks, productivity systems, inspirational videos, short meditations. Sometimes it helped, but only briefly. Their mind felt like it had 2 gears, fast and faster. And the faster it went, the more it produced fear. Fear about the future, fear about money, fear about relationships, fear about health, fear about being judged, fear about not being enough. Their body felt like it never fully exhaled. One day they found a long session described as mantras for deep inner peace, and the title promised 8 powerful mantras. 8. That number felt comforting, like a complete set, like a toolkit. They pressed play, and for the first time in a long time, they allowed themselves to do something unusual. They stopped demanding an immediate outcome. They simply listened. At first, nothing magical happened. Their mind kept wandering. Their body kept fidgeting. Their thoughts kept buzzing. They felt impatient. They felt skeptical. They almost quit. But then a small shift arrived. One phrase, repeated calmly, seemed to give the mind something to hold. Like a child holding a warm cup on a cold day, the mind still had thoughts, but the thoughts were less sharp. The breath became slightly slower. The shoulders dropped by a few millimeters. The jaw softened. That might sound small, but if you have lived with chronic stress, you know that 1 millimeter of softness can feel like a miracle. Then the person made a mistake that many people make at this point. They thought, "This is the peace." And when the track ended and life returned, and the mind started worrying again, they felt disappointed. They said, "It does not work. My mind is broken. Peace is not for me." But here is the secret. The small softness was not the final peace. It was proof of possibility. And proof of possibility is the beginning of practice. Deep inner peace is not a mood you catch. It is a capacity you build. And the way you build it is repetition. Not only repetition of sounds, but repetition of returning. This is why 8 mantras can be useful, because each mantra can function like a different doorway back to the same room, the room of awareness. Some doors feel more natural to certain people. Some feel more devotional. Some feel more calming. Some feel more energizing. But the room is the same. The room is the inner witness, the part of you that can observe thoughts and emotions without being owned by them. Now I want to talk about the word powerful, because power can be misunderstood. A powerful mantra is not necessarily the one that gives you the strongest sensation. Strong sensations can be addictive. They can become another craving. A powerful mantra is the one that changes your reactions outside the meditation session. The one that shows up in your speech when you are tired. The one that shows up in your choices when you are tempted. The one that shows up in your patience when someone triggers you. That is real power. So let us take the idea of 8 powerful mantras and translate it into a deeper message you can actually leave. Imagine 8 different ways of returning to center. One way is devotion, repeating a name with sincerity until the heart's often's ego loosens. Another way is vibration, a simple sound that lengthens the exhale and calms the nervous system. Another way is remembrance, a phrase that reminds you of truth when the mind is lost. Another way is surrender, a repetition that helps you stop fighting what you cannot control. Another way is compassion, a phrase that turns the inner critic into a kinder inner voice. Another way is clarity, a sound that helps you see your mental stories as stories. Another way is discipline, a steady repetition that trains focus and reduces distraction. Another way is gratitude, a repetition that teaches the mind to notice support instead of only threat. Different doors, same room. And that room is where awakening begins. Awakening in this context is not a mystical certificate. It is the moment you realize, I can observe my mind. I do not have to be my mind. If I can observe it, I can influence it. If I can influence it, I can change my life. This is where wisdom enters. Wisdom is seeing cause and effect in your inner habits. If you repeat worry all day, your body will feel tense. If you repeat resentment, your heart will feel heavy. If you repeat comparison, your self-respect will shrink. If you repeat kindness, your relationships will soften. If you repeat honesty, your anxiety will reduce. If you repeat discipline, your competence will grow. None of this is magic. It is karma in real time, cause and effect. So when you chant mantras for peace, you are choosing a different repetition. You are planting a different cause. Over time, that cause produces a different inner world. And your inner world shapes your destiny because your inner world shapes your choices. Now let me continue the story. Because the person eventually learned what deep inner peace actually is. After the disappointment of losing the calm after the track ended, they decided to try again the next day, but with a different attitude. Instead of asking, will this give me peace forever? They asked, can I practice returning today? They listened again. Their mind wandered again. But this time, when they noticed wandering, they did not attack themselves. They simply returned to the sound, returned again and again. That returning became the real practice. After a week, they noticed something. The mind still wandered, but it returned faster. The spirals still started, but they ended sooner. The body still tensed, but it relaxed sooner. This is huge, because most suffering is not that a negative state arises. Most suffering is that we stay trapped in it for hours, days, weeks. If you can shorten the time you are trapped, your life changes, not because life becomes easy, but because you stop losing so much time to inner war. After a month, they noticed something more. In the middle of conflict, a phrase would appear in the mind like a soft bell. They would pause before speaking. They would breathe. They would choose a calmer sentence. This is where peace becomes practical. Peace is not only sitting quietly. Peace is how you speak when you are irritated. Peace is how you respond when someone misunderstands you. Peace is how you handle stress without becoming cruel. Peace is how you treat yourself when you fail. This is where compassion becomes the core fruit, because deep peace without compassion becomes cold. You can become calm and still be selfish. You can become relaxed and still be unkind. True inner peace includes warmth. It includes the ability to see others as human, not as obstacles. It includes the ability to forgive without becoming naive. It includes the ability to set boundaries without hatred. The person began to see that their so-called negative energy was oft unjust, unprocessed emotion mixed with harsh inner speech. They carried a constant inner critic. The critic did not protect them. It exhausted them. It made them tense. It made them avoid tasks. It made them procrastinate. It made them lash out. So, during mantra practice, when the critic voice appeared, they practiced something brave. They did not argue with it. They did not obey it. They did not drown in it. They returned to the mantra and silently added one compassionate sentence: I can take one step. I can return. This changed their relationship with themselves. And your relationship with yourself is one of the biggest determinants of destiny. If you treat yourself like an enemy, you will sabotage your life. If you treat yourself like a student, you will grow. Now let us talk about obstacles. Because people search for peace when obstacles feel heavy. Many obstacles are external. Deadlines, illness, money issues, family tension. But the deeper obstacle is often your reactivity. Reactivity turns a challenge into suffering. Reactivity turns a disagreement into a war. Reactivity turns a mistake into shame. Reactivity turns uncertainty into panic. Mantras train the pause between stimulus and response. That pause is where freedom lives. So when you listen to 8 mantras, do not treat them like 8 spells. Treat them like 8 opportunities to practice the pause. Practice the pause before speaking. Practice the pause before spending. Practice the pause before scrolling. Practice the pause before blaming. Practice the pause before giving up. Every pause is karma purification, because every pause is a chance to choose a wiser cause. This is also how destiny changes. Destiny is not only what happens to you. Destiny is what you repeatedly choose in response to what happens. If you repeatedly choose panic, your life becomes unstable. If you repeatedly choose presence, your life becomes steadier. Steady people make steadier choices. Steadier choices create steadier outcomes. Now I want to share a second short story, because some people think peace is only for quiet personalities. There was someone who was naturally intense, fast mind, strong opinions, high energy. They thought peace meant becoming dull. They did not want that. They wanted to stay alive. But their intensity often turned into anger. Their anger damaged relationships. Then they felt regret. Then they felt shame. Then they got angry again. They started listening to mantra sessions, expecting them to slow them down in a way that felt like losing themselves. But what happened was different. The mantra did not erase their intensity. It purified it. It turned raw intensity into focused energy. They became passionate without being cruel. They became confident without being arrogant. They became strong without being sharp. That is a deeper form of peace. Peace is not weakness. Peace is mastery. Mastery does not mean controlling life. It means not being controlled by your own impulses. Now let us bring everything into one closing reflection that you can actually use. If you want deep inner peace, stop asking for a state and start building a skill. The skill is returning to breath, returning to the mantra, returning to kindness, returning to honesty, returning to the next wise step. Awakening is noticing you wandered. Wisdom is choosing to return. Karma is what happens when you keep returning day after day. Compassion is how you return without violence toward yourself or others. Practice is the daily rhythm that turns returning into your new default. Destiny is the long result of that new default. So when you listen to mantras for deep inner peace, do not measure success only by how you feel during the track. Measure success by how you live after the track. Do you recover faster from stress? Do you speak more gently? Do you apologize sooner? Do you waste less time spiraling? Do you choose the wise action more often? If yes, the mantra is working. Thank you for being here with me today. If you have been craving peace, I hope this talk gave you something more reliable than a temporary calm, a path, a way to train, a way to return. Now I want to invite you to share your story in the comments. What steals your peace most often? Overthinking, anger, anxiety, comparison, or something else? And have you noticed any mantra helping you create a pause in real life, not just during meditation? If you want more long-form videos that connect mantra practice with awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, steady practice, and destiny, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment so more people can find this space. Your support helps keep these conversations alive and helps turn sound into real transformation.